When will I be famous? I can't answer that. Hey, what's good, people, man? Platinum Bearded Dread. Tells upon the bench them. Question, man. When you look in the mirror, what do you see? When you look in the mirror, what do you see? Do you see the same thing you see when you look at your favorite celebrities and stuff, you know, in the tabloids, in the magazines, and on films? What do you see? I was speaking to my son the other day, and this is how this question came about. And he said to me, just while we was on our bike ride, he said to me, "Daddy, what makes a person a celebrity?" And I was just about to quickly phone an answer and say, bring up all these famous people. I won't name them for two reasons. One, because by the time some people watch this video, they won't be famous anymore. We'll get into that in a bit. And two, because this isn't to bang on or to criticize celebrities, because again, as we'll see later, all that glitters is not gold. So I was about to answer the question, so I had to pause. And I said to myself, first of all, look at the word celebrity, yeah? In the word celebrity, we've got the word celebrate. Again, we'll cover that in a bit. And then, when you look at the word celebrity in the dictionary, it might say someone who's famous, which is basically well known by many, many people. Again, something that we're going to get into. Go on, do no things, jogging enough, it's good, man. But it's a big question, man, because when we look at the whole world of celebrity now, it's almost like we want to be like that. Now, not all of us, hopefully, but a lot of us. And on some level, whether it's subliminal or it's all right, or whether it's direct, we're being spoken to on a level that it's almost like we're being told this is the life. You always hear people saying, I'm living my best life. And even that quote is a strange one, because at most times we're not really talking about, your highest principle. We're usually talking about something related to money or fame. But anyway, we'll get into that in a bit. But picture this. It's a Sunday afternoon. Sun is out, and I'm making my way down to a management company to sign a development deal with Sony. So you can imagine how excited I am. My family are coming to join me, and we go down to the office, and you've got the two contracts on the table, and my mum was there as well. Everyone's just really excited because I worked so hard for this, I do music and stuff. And you got my manager at the time and the head of the label at the time. So everyone's happy and excited. I'm a little bit nervous for some reason, but still that's not enough. I'm really excited because I worked for this. And I signed the two contracts. Everyone claps and hugs and stuff, and there's champagne bottles in there. I'm feeling real nice, man. The next day, I'm getting phone calls, from all my friends and stuff like that, and people in the industry. I'm doing photo shoots, yeah. Even on one occasion, they had a Stretch Mercedes come pick me up just for a photo shoot. And I'm not gonna lie, that made me, on one hand, uncomfortable, but on the other hand, shit, man. But anyway, and I was doing radio interviews and stuff, and that was cool. And during this time, it's a development deal, which means that you're basically gonna develop your music, and then you're gonna present it to the overall head of the label. So not the small label, but who owns that label, if that makes sense. So we get to that point, and I have a disagreement in a creative direction, and I decided to leave because if it's not integral to how I feel, then I can't do it. I don't care how much is on the table. And at the same time, people whispering to me saying, you sure? But anyway, I leave. No word of lie, the next day, the phone stops ringing. And it's so bad that I'm trying to ring people up But they're not even answering, let alone ringing me back. And all of a sudden, it's almost like it went around like wildfire that Fidel got dropped. And, you know, I'm lucky because I'm not one of those people that, even back then, I was never one of those people that walked around like the big I am. But still, there was this quietness that made me really feel like, wow, it's all gone, man. And all of a sudden, no one wants to talk. And obviously, the only people that were there, regardless, was my family. And it was a big lesson, man. A big, big lesson. But why am I relaying this? Because when we look at the whole world of celebrities, is that really what we want? Is that really what we want? I remember watching an interview with Jim Carrey, someone that I've admired for many years, even when he was doing the early movies like The Mask and stuff. But as we know, he's recently become more spiritual, if you like, and the media are trying to mock him, and it's what they do. You know, when a person wakes up to the realities of what the celebrity life really is, they mock them because they don't want the rest of us to be exposed to what the truth is. But anyway, he said, let me get this right, I might be paraphrasing. He said, I tend to stay up late. He said, not because I'm partying and stuff, but because it's the only time I get to be alone and I don't have to perform. And he also said, yeah, everyone's walking around depressed. People are depressed because everyone's trying to be something to the world. Wow. And, sorry, fly. And that really, you know what I mean, it really resonated because that is what it is. And you might be saying to yourself, well then why would I say I want to be a celebrity? It's simple, man. Because we're looking to them to show us what happiness is, when at the end of the day, they have to fit a script. They've got to play to a script. And if they don't, they're dropped like a sack of hot potatoes. But then what about when we don't, what about the idea that we don't even celebrate ourselves, man? I'm not talking about whether, you know, you get a record. I'm not talking none of that nonsense. I'm talking about the small little victories that we have day to day. Whether that be a child that stood up for themselves, you know, on the school playground by either telling a teacher or even fighting back if they have to a bully. Or whether that be a single parent mother who has completed her studies, evening class studies, despite having to manage 3 children on her own. Or whether that be passing an exam, or whether that be even a child who's confused about its sexuality and trumps up the courage to relay their anxieties to their parents. These are all small victories that we don't look at. And that is worth celebrating. That's the reason why I say we are all celebrities if we look at the very small things and like the little victories that are worth celebrating, man. And at the end of the day, I mean, it's hard because, you know, the whole media thing, especially for the young ones, it's like they're constantly bombarded with what success should be. And we've got to remember that even for adults, there's still a childlike innocence that's in all of us. So we may think it's just the children that are being suggested to, as it were, but it's adults too. And if we can't see the small little victories that we overlook day to day, then it's no wonder that we're looking externally for something or someone to show us what success looks like. I remember with my mum, it wasn't until she passed that I realised that for me, you know, they talk about celebrities and stars that's supposed to guide. That she to me was a star because she never celebrated her anything. She did what she had to do. She asked nothing back from anyone, and she humbly just gave of herself for her children. To me, that's a star, not someone who's having to play a role, but then when they get behind closed doors, they're in tears, man. I mean, there's so many celebrities that we can look at who, especially ones that had fame from a young age, and then you see how they fell apart at the end. And when they try to speak out against what is really going on, then they get maligned and mocked. Another quote I want to kind of round up with is Jim Carrey. Now this one's a strange one, but you've got to bear with me this one, get this right. He said, I used to want to be the Wizard of Oz until I realised it was the sweaty man behind the curtain and that Oz was just a character. Now that's deep, because basically what he's saying is that all of this is a curtain. So all we've seen is that big voice, you know, that fierce and bold voice in the Wizard of Oz, but we don't realise that the real person is behind the curtain. And if you notice that in the movie, as soon as Toto the dog pushed back the curtain, then you had this vulnerable man, and that was the real person. But we were put on this facade, this mask, if you like, for everyone to see. So I don't want you to think for a second that you have to look at quote-unquote celebrities and famous people to see what happiness is, because it really ain't, man. Now, the example I gave is just a little drop in the ocean, man. I ain't, I'm not trying to be no big thing, but especially for our children, we have to at least give them an example of what happiness really is, and more than even not just that, celebrate their little victories. Now, when you see your child or a child do something that doesn't matter how small it is, but the fact that you can say, "Well done, man! Yeah, you know, all that kind of stuff," they'll remember that. Hey, doggy, you always come to our feet, man. All right. They'll remember all that kind of. That's all right. They'll remember all those kind of things as they grow, and it'll strengthen their self-esteem and their confidence. By the way, man, I hope you got something from this, man, and I hope it made sense to you as well. Platinum Bit of Dread. Tell us when to bench them. Don't forget, hit the like button, subscribe or something, and we'll do this again. Oh yeah. One more thing, man. Drop a comment below and let me know your thoughts. Cheer, man.